Power Book 2, Season 2, Episode 7, titled Force My Hand. Before we get started, I got to give a shout out to my sponsors, Future Trillionaire Clothing. Go to IamTrill.com. Enter the promo code ABSTRACT when you check out. You get a little something off your order. You go there. We got a plethora of things over there. T-shirts, hoodies, firearms. Now we ain't got no firearms, but we got nice things over there. So go over there. It helps support the channel. And it's some cool stuff. You can look fly while you're doing it. Now let's get into the episode. Man, I'm so proud of my boy Tariq. I swear I am, man. He has finally completed the trinity that is Lauren, Effie, and Diana. Oh, man, when she leaned in on the bed for that, I see, yes. I was really literally like, yes, that's my guy. That's my boy. Yeah, I was so happy for him. Like, he was a real character. I was really happy for him. Diana wanted it, dude. She been wanting it for years, like at least a year. She was just like, I noticed when she came over, I said, she looking too nice to be just casually coming over. And once she seen that Lauren wasn't getting no play at the door, once he excused, like, oh no, you good, come in. She knew right then and there. she made in her mind right then and there, I'm about to fuck this nigga. Yes, Tariq. Yes, you have completed the Trinity. Only man in history to complete the Trinity. It's gonna be something else. And to see the look on Lauren's face, she was so sick. She was just like, she didn't know what to do, dude. She didn't know what to do, man. She did not know what to do, dude. I swear, this episode was like, City Boys was up this episode. I'm talking about Lauren got the doodle look on her face. Milgram had the doodle look on her face. I'm like, yes, finally. Some retribution for all the little scandalous things they've been doing. Oh, man, I'm so proud of Tariq, man. You have no idea. Episode starts off with, we see that Papa Tejada and Drew are putting that work in, man. They moved in on the move they said they were going to make. And we see Drew pulls the trigger. He kills the leader of that gang. And that's crazy thing. You was just at the dinner table with this man. And then a day or two later or whatever, how long it been, you killing him. I'm like, oh, man, that's shady as hell. That's super shady. We also see that Drew still has some compassion because he was going to let the girl live. And then Papa Tejada had to let him know, like, yo, listen, no loose ends. You know, you got to take care of her. And then old boy wound up doing it. And he didn't want Drew to do it because he didn't want him to get eyeballed or whatever he said. But he was like, no loose ends. And I think that's a lesson that we learned throughout the series for Drew. You know, Drew, he got a soft spot. And once he get rid of that soft spot, though, he going to be super savage because he is a savage already. Like, Papa Tejada knows it. He sees it in him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he know his boys. So, but he like, listen, you no loose ends. You can't. So Drew see that, and then we see later in the episode when Drew goes to murder his boyfriend, that he's coming into that like, okay, no loose ends. Like, even though I love this dude, I gotta take care of business. And you see, he was about to take care of it. He wanted to be the one to do it. He didn't want Kane to do it. But I think eventually Kane, I think Papa Tejada's going to end up doing it. You know, obviously he stalls and he gets the text from him and he has a change of heart. But, yeah, that's one thing. Drew does have a weakness, so he has to get over that weakness. We see that Tariq, Frankie, the Uncle Frankie, I forgot all about him until I saw the previews. He got out of jail earlier snitching. His wife comes to visit Monet at the bar, and she's looking for him. She hasn't saw him since he got murdered. And I'm like, why you just now coming to fucking find your husband? And she's like, ironically, he was coming to see you. So this is like the sometimes when power be slipping up. It's like, yo, she would have been came to visit Monet if she knew exactly he was going to see Monet. He would have been came, you know, she would have been come to see Monet. But she's making implications that they had something to do with it, which they did. You know, Kane knocked him off, but Monet kind of gives her some money to kind of just, I guess, like keep her over. Like, here, take this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like, but I think right then and there she knew what was going on, and she kind of threatened Monet a little bit, like, you know, be safe or something. She said, like, tell your family to be safe or something like that. I'm like, ooh, don't be threatening Monet family. You don't want to do that. So it's gonna be something with that in the future. I don't know exactly what, but something gonna come up. We see Tariq meets up with Sax and Davis over at the chapel, and they're trying to figure out if that was him in a video. They got a video, and I believe it's of Kane, and they want him to identify who it is, and he doesn't say who it is. And then Sax is like, listen, this kid got a fucking you got a way to get out of this. And he was like, yo, I can't believe he possibly didn't do this, and he got a way out, but he won't say nothing. And then he was just like, yo, that's how it is. Davis is like, yo, clearly you're not from the streets. You know, he can't identify him because obviously they got something on him or something like that, he says. So, I don't know. I hated Sax for the longest time, but at the same time, like, I love his passion. Like, he has this unwavering passion about stuff. And even though he knows Tariq is a shit person, he knows, like, he didn't do this. And he's getting paid to prove that he didn't do this. But at the same time, he's, like, torn. He's like, yo, he doesn't fucking kill people. And maybe he should just take the rap for this body. But maybe at the same time, you know, I just like little shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey. It's a cry. I don't know. It's like a love-hate relationship with Sax. You know what I'm saying? We see Drew and Papa Tejada come in the house, and Monet sitting up drinking some Hennessy. And I like how they hid the Hennessy label bottle because they don't get paid by Hennessy, so advertising. I know this little shit like that. But anyway, she's like, yo, she's asking Papa Tejada, yo, where you guys coming from? And she's telling him pretty much like, listen, this was the clip too. I saw on Mark Dark's channel. He did a breakdown of this. I guess they aired it or somebody had it on their channel. And it was kind of like, I'm trying to get, like, she pretty much explained to him, like, listen, I'm trying to get out of this shit. You keep bringing me back into this shit. Or you back and you bringing us into this shit. And you making it, I had it to where we was kind of like undetected. We had everything going smooth. You want to take, he like, yo, I want to take it back to the streets because obviously they get more money in the streets. You know, they taking over territory, knocking heads off. I don't see why you would want to be on a corner versus what's the name. But I think it's just a control thing. He's more in control of the situation if he know people on corners and he can spot who's doing who and what's going what versus Tariq shit because Tariq shit is so low key and undercover. And then you relying on him. He just don't like the fact of relying on nobody else. And he says it right then and there. I'm never going to wait on another man to eat or some shit. So that Zeke shit is completely out. And it's something Diana said later on in the show. She was like, yo, I thought this would bring my family closer, but it's dividing them. You know what I'm saying? And this is part of the divide because they want this to, they both got different ideologies of how they think the business should be ran and whatnot. So it's crazy. But back at the campus, we see Braden and Tariq looking over the photo album, which he wanted to get for Tate, and it's crazy because he finds the picture, but he does the right thing. He doesn't just take the picture. Like, I think older Tariq or unenlightened Tariq probably would have just took the picture and gave it to Tate, but he asked Braden, and I like that. I think that shows growth, and that shows that he's just coming into full, I guess, grips of his partnership with Braden. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just trying to be completely transparent and honest with him. But we see that he cuts over and he's telling Tate he doesn't want Braden to get hurt in the process of this or the family to go under for this. And Tate got super gangster on him quick. He turned into a nigga quick. Man, listen, I don't give a fuck, little nigga. You gonna give me the fucking picture, or you ain't gonna get your sister. You want your sister, right? And listen, man, he did a lot for Tariq, man. He got Tariq out of jail. Tariq wouldn't be out of jail if it wasn't for him. So he didn't get out of jail based off of Davis and Sacks. So I'm like, Tariq can't really say nothing. So he had to eat that. But he sunned the fuck out of Tariq right there. I'm like, ugh. So we see Tariq re-enters Milgram's classroom for the first time since his release, and we see that obviously he's getting some looks from everybody. They're like, what the hell's going on? And Milgram being one of them, and she's like, how did he get out of jail if, off of murder? And Tate's sitting there like, I don't know. I'm like, Tate, you a sly dog, you, man. Councilman Tate is a sly dog. So they posed a question, obviously one of her dumbass questions. It seemed like it's directed. And then she calls right on Tariq to answer, and he gives his answer, and, everybody goes into debate. And then Lauren throws some shade at Milgram. And Milgram kind of stumped. And can we give a round of applause for how Lauren was dressed in the classroom? Like, that was she had one of the hottest outfits other episode. That outfit she had on in the classroom with the Burberry. And listen, I don't know if Burberry sponsored this episode, but man, they had fucking some fly shit going on. But Lauren's outfit, she's walking across that field. She got the fucking like the Burberry with the button ups. I'm like, yo, that was a fly ass episode. That was a fly ass outfit. I can't even hold you. I'm like, man, like for real. That shit was dope as hell. But it's just, I don't know, man. Milgram is shady as hell, and that's why I think something's gonna happen to her this season, because she's just doing a lot of fucking shady shit. And then you can see she had all that shit to say about Tariq, and then all of a sudden she ain't got nothing else to say. We see after the classroom, like I said, when she was walking through the field, how Tariq's trying to catch up to her and talk to her, and she don't want nothing to do with him. I'm like, ooh, he lost it, buddy. But she's just being short with him, for whatever reason. I think she's kind of just confused. She's in her own head, what's going on. But Tariq's trying to convince her, or he's trying to realize or come to an understanding of what they were talking about in the classroom, because they made some reference to her doing something unwillingly. That's what she said. And Tariq was trying to like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she kind of just like, yo, I don't want to be seen with you, and just being an asshole to him. I'm like, damn, that's shady as hell, man. And we look over and we see Milgram talking to him, or see them two talking, and she has some look of concern on her face. And I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah, but she's being an asshole to Tariq. I'm like, all right, you on the shit list too now, because at first, and everybody was Team Lauren a couple of weeks ago, but now they seeing how she is, the true ways of her actions, and a lot of people not messing with her. We see Davis meets with his old assistant. I forgot all about this lady. He was banging this lady. I forget exactly why they fell out, man. And I had forgot about the Uncle Frankie. I completely forgot about him. I'm like, man, I should have watched the first season over. I didn't know they were going to bring back these old characters. But now, when he spoke on a conversation about her, or when they were talking, I did remember that she did go behind his back and was trying to do something with Tariq. I don't know if she's trying to help him or hurt him. I think she might have been trying to hurt him, if I'm not mistaken, but I think he wound up letting her go. But he goes in there and tried to smooth talk her, order the drink. And as we know, Tariq used her as an alibi when he spoke with Sacks and Davis earlier. So he's trying to get her to cooperate with that. But also that night, he was pounding them guts out. He was in there getting them sweet watery guts, like my man Steph Cole would say. So, and then things bad on, they left off on a bad note. So she got some kind of animosity towards him. He's trying to get her to help out. But she doesn't like Tariq because she know he murdered his dad. So she knows he's a piece of shit. So she like, I'm not sticking my neck out for you for the fact he's a murderer, and for the fact that, you're fucking a scumbag because you was banging me. You're married. And she poured some fucking some water on this man's shoes because he was just like, you know what? I forgive you for going behind my back. I'm like, oh, he said the wrong thing. She was just like, act like she was about to drink it and said. Next thing we see him in the office wiping the shoes off with a brush. I'm like, what the fuck is a brush gonna do, dude? Wipe them shits off with a cloth. But when she left out, he said, man, that's a bad bitch right there. Cold woman. Something he said. I said, yo, this nigga funny as hell, man. But he tells Tariq that this alibi isn't going to work. He's just trying to get another one. And he's like, yo, can you obviously grandma not going to do it. And he like, yo, we want your sister to testify. And Tariq is completely against that. Like, nope, that's not happening. Because one thing Tariq knows, he knows his family, and he know his sister possibly not built for that. So I'm like, I don't know. To me personally, I wouldn't do it either. I just wouldn't want to put my family member through that. And then kids don't really know how to lie that good. Like, they really don't. They be kids at that age and younger. They like brutally honest to the fact you just like. My daughter be telling me some of the weirdest shit sometimes. I'll be like, not even weird, but it's just like honest shit. But it's just like, baby, you don't say that to me. Like, that hurt my feelings a little bit. I don't say that to her, but I'll be like, damn, like, you trying to hurt my feelings and shit? Like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Like, daddy. Like, they say the fucking wildest shit, man. I'm like, damn. So sometimes you gotta be like my son used to do that too, and then I tried to talk to him like, all right, though, there's certain things you can't say to people because that can hurt their feelings. Like, we was in a store one time and I think some lady walked by and she was smelling and he's like, oh, she stank. I'm like, yo, chill. All right, but they trying to figure out another way to get, and listen, this whole episode they was trying to get Tariq to snitch on Kane, and then when they had that face-to-face meet, I thought Tariq was gonna swing off on him, but the fact that Tariq could stand there in front of him and do all that shit, and then Kane ain't apologize and none of that, I'm like, Kane, you the reason why we in this right now. You know what I'm saying? Next scene cut over, we see two bodies caress against each other, and I'm like, ooh, what's going on? Tariq what's going on? And it was fucking Drew and with Everett or whatever the hell his name is. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, that's not what I wanted to see. But they're talking about whatever the fuck they're talking about. But anyway, Tecto winds up coming to the door to ask some more questions, and he splits out that he made a statement. And he wanted to follow up on it. And I'm like, it's not real because he would have came inside the damn room because he don't want everybody hearing what's going on. So I'm like, that's a TV show. But he looks down and he see the clothes. And he's like, anybody there? And you see Drew listening in the background. And I think Drew knew right then and there that he was going to have to, he's going to have to take care of his boyfriend. But, he tries to play it off like, oh, no, I have nothing to say. It's like, bro, you done said enough already, bro. Like, for real. But I think right then and there, Drew knew he was going to have to take care of that situation. Now, we go to we see Zeke shooting at the basketball court. And we see Mecca decides to walk up. And at first, I didn't think he was going to say nothing. But he tries to get him to play a game on one-on-one. He's like, no, man. And he's like, mean stroke. He's like, one foot is half bigger than the other. And he's like, yeah, how you know that? And he's like, yeah, because mine like that. It runs in the family. I'm like, oh, okay, this is the approach. He just went behind Monet back and did it. Not necessarily went behind her back, but he went behind her back because she didn't want to. But I guess he was just like, I need to find out. But I'm like, yo, all these years you never wanted to try to reach out or nothing? Like, all of a sudden, it do seem kind of sketchy. Like, he do want to possibly get a free ride, but we know that's not the case. But I'm just saying from Zeke's eyes, or it can look like that because this dude I never heard of, I don't know about. But he tries to approach Zeke. Zeke's like, come on now, get away from me, man. Get back, man. And then he's like, yo, you wonder where you got your name? And he lifts his shirt up. You see his pale ass skin, and he got the fucking the proverb on there, and he got Zeke's attention, but Zeke's like, man, I don't know this nigga. I'll be the same way, like, bro, I don't know you. Get the fuck away from me. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, ask your mother. Ask her. And I'm thinking he obviously was alluding to Monet, but I don't know if he has to know Monet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he knows that Monet doesn't know that, or Zeke doesn't know Monet is the mother. I'm pretty sure of that. So I don't know. We're gonna find out who Zeke's supposed mom is, I believe, in the next season, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's what I read. Back at the house, Monet is still sunning Diana. She's, move the fuck out my way. Grabs her purse, and then her phone goes off, and we see it's Mecca texting her, and Diana nosy ass looking all at the phone. I'm like, damn, nigga, you was nosy. The fuck, mind your business. But she said some slick shit to her. She wound up bouncing, but the whole point was for Diana to see that on the phone and whatnot. Cause she is fucking nosy, man. Like, mind your damn business. We see Milgram is on, I guess it's Clubhouse. It's like a Clubhouse type of deal for the students, and they on there talking about Milgram like a dog, like the dog that she is. Talking about, yeah, she was messing with Zeke. No, I heard she was messing with Randall. No, I heard she was messing with such and such. Oh, man, this bitch just get around with everybody. I'm like, ooh. So she feeling it right now. Tate walks in, and he's like, listen, I want to be, I didn't get an invite to Reynolds. I guess they having like a memorial fundraiser type deal for him. He's like, yo, I didn't get an invite. And she's like, well, it's reserved for people who knew Professor Reynolds. You didn't know him. Right as then the dean walks in and he tells Milgram that she won't be able to participate due to the rumors that are going around that she was. What's the name? Milgram do get around, man. She don't. Tate about to be next. Tate's about to get that box next. I'm telling you. But he goes stand outside the door, and he goes in there and caps her. At first, I thought he was gonna throw under the bus more so he could talk for him. But he didn't. He tried to amp her up because he wanted her to have him as his +1. And he had intentions, as we know. I didn't know at the time what he was talking about, but the dean, he goes to he agrees. I guess just because he trying to keep the peace. But anyway, we see Zeke meets up with Monet. And Monet goes and meets with Zeke, and we see Zeke's packing, and he like, yo, I gotta go talk to my mom. Dude come up, say my pops, I gotta see. I'm like, yo, Zeke got the worst fucking acting ever. But he's like fucking, she's telling him like, shut the fuck down. Shut the fuck down. I gotta tell you something. Then I was like, oh, she about to tell him. She finally about to tell him like this nigga about to ruin this nigga, cause all this time you my mom. But then she tells him that, and listen, Monet coat that she had on in the scene too was fire. I don't know if this was Burberry as well. But yo, I think that was a Chanel coat. Yeah, that shit was fire. I'm like, man, Mary is probably the best dressed. Cause I seen that shit they had on Stars. They was asking them questions like, who's the biggest flirt, who's the best dressed. And everybody said Mary J. Blige was the best dressed. They was like, even when we at the readings, she come in as fly as hell. Like, yeah, Auntie Mary, man, 411, share my world, my life, she got that long money. But anyway, she tells Zeke that his father is in jail. I'm like, you dirtbag, man. And listen, these lies is going to come back to hurt you, Monet. You should have told that man. This is the perfect opportunity for you to come clean, start a clean slate or a new slate. But you got that boy thinking his daddy in jail now. And I think Zeke has some kind of, he knows what's going on. He's stupid, but he ain't that stupid. He got to know what's going on. And is Tariq still tutoring Zeke? Because that was part of his stipulation for being on the campus. And I haven't seen him around Zeke since in forever. But anyway, Monet goes to confront Mecca, and he's pretty much telling her, "Listen, you didn't like abide to our agreement, so I took it upon myself to visit him." And she like, "Yo, this ain't gonna happen. Like, you gotta fall the fuck back, blah blah blah." And I'm like, damn, this is just how females will switch up on you. Because last week, you was telling me you wanted to leave with me, you wanted to do this, and all of a sudden you switch up. And I know your husband came back, but man, you gotta stick to the script, or at least honor that part of it. You know what I mean? Let that man see his damn daddy or his son. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that. So she trying to explain to him his compliment. And she did. I will say, Mary J. Blige's acting has gotten a lot better in this season. I caught a lot of flack for stating that she couldn't act because she won an NAACP Image Award for Best Actor, and I was just like, it was probably about 5 other actors that was better than her on this show. But whatever. I ain't hating on my auntie. I love Mary J. Blige. But yeah, I say her acting got a lot better in this series. But she kind of threatened Mecca like, yo, what the fuck, you know what I mean? We see Tariq at the church. He meets up with Tamika. Old face comes back, and he's trying to get I think he's just trying to get another point of view, because as we learned, Davis doesn't take deals. It's either win or lose with him, and he has a big win percentage, so he doesn't take any deals, fire, because I guess that looks like a loss to him. But I'm like, 5 years for murder, that's not bad, but he would have to tell, and we all know that wouldn't end up well for him. So I think he did the right thing. I wouldn't have told either, you know what I'm saying? Where there's a will, there's a way. But she tells him, listen, I could get you a deal. You could possibly get 5 years, you get your sister. His whole objection is, I don't want my sister being in the system for that long. I gotta get hold of her now. But she was just like, listen, I thought you could be better than your dad. I knew he was a bad person. And she shows him all the pictures, all these people that got killed supposedly because of ghosts or indirectly from ghosts, just related to situations that was part of him, whether it was Tommy or such and such. So she shows him all this, and she's like, listen, I know you could be better than this. She said, I thought this would have stopped when your father died, but the killings are still continuing to happen, and you're the even common denominator of this. And he don't really know what to say from that. But she's trying to get him a deal, and she says she's going to get him one. We see that Kane and Mecca meet up with Lorenzo and Drew. And first thing, Kane gets jealous because Drew's here. Why is he here? What did he do? I'm like, dude, you're in a fucking drug deal. Calm the fuck down and be professional. And secondly, that's your fucking brother. That's your family, dude. Like, how you jealous of like that? Kane is dumb, dude. Sorry, long-winded. But Kane is fucking. I don't know what his problem is, man. Like, he need to grow the hell up, though. I know that much. But we see them finally meet face to face, and I'm like, oh, how is this gonna work out? So who win in a fight between Lorenzo and Mecca? I'm gonna take my money on Lorenzo, man. I think Lorenzo he's straight out of jail, yada yada yada. And they got some new female character that's working with Mecca. We see that she was a savage later on when she had that thing. So I don't know who place she took or where she came from, but she's more than welcome, and she not bad looking either. But anyway, they have a mutual agreement. He tells Mecca we could take over more product because we got corners now, because we running the whole Queens. I'm like, oh shit, they running the whole Queens now. It's litty in the city like P Diddy. Also, I think that Mecca's trying to test him for some reason, because I don't know, maybe, or I think he got something planned for him. That's what I think. I think he got something planned to where he gonna try to sabotage them, and it'll be a whole ordeal or thing. So I don't know. He gave a lot of product to that dude, which kind of messed up Kane and Monet's thing from the shit that Tariq does. Sorry, I said Tyreek. I know. I don't want to hear it. We see Lauren and Milgram meet up face to face, and they got a little confrontation going on. And she's telling Lauren, you need to stay away from Tariq. He's bad news. And she like, listen, his parents gone, his sister died, and all he got is his little sister and his grandma. And she's like, so maybe you don't understand. He don't have anybody. And, as they getting into it, light-skinned Keisha walks up. And, she's like, yo, we got to go. Like, is everything good? We see at the West End table, they being just fucking super rich and prejudiced and racist, just how they are. Just super douchebaggy family. And Braden's, like, not into it at all. As he goes to get a roll, Tate comes up and talks to Braden's dad, and he tells him, sorry, I was fixing my watch. He tells Braden's dad, like, yo, it's a picture that might be coming up of Senator, I forget the guy's name, but he's like, yo, there's a picture coming up that might look bad on you, so I just wanted to give you a heads up, unless you could get him to step down and you endorse me, and dude like, yo, I don't take black men lightly, and Tate's like, oh no, just blackface, and then you see Braden, Braden looking like, oh shit, what the hell he just say? But you see his dad even look crazier, like, oh shit. So I wonder what that conversation was like when Braden got back to the table, because obviously we know Braden was the one that took the book. So I'm like, this ain't gonna be bad. I mean, this ain't gonna be good. We see Milgram gets up there and she fumbles the ball horribly, because you can hear everybody talking about her. Like, yo, yeah, she was. I'm like, oh my god. So she gets up there and she's just flumming. And I don't know why she would want to go up there anyway, especially all the rumors that's going on. She should have just took the out when she got it. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this about Milgram, man. I love her hair. I don't know. I don't like her character, but I love her hair. I mean, she's not a bad looking lady either. But I'm a fan of that natural curly hair type shit like that. I'm a fan of that shit a lot. Now don't tell me it's weave now, because I'm gonna be upset. But now I got nothing against weave, but I've always feel like I could tell it different, and that looks natural to me. But anyway, she gets off flubber, she walks off, and Tate comes in to comfort her, and gives her some words of encouragement and advice. And I'm like, okay, Tate, he's trying to slide in and get in where he fit in. He still got his eyes on the prize. I respect it. We see Lauren goes to Tariq's room to apologize to him. And as she's talking to him, Diana walks up. And I'm like, yo, this was played so sweet. I'm like, oh. She walks up, and I'm like, yo, the way she dressed, she ain't come over there just to talk, because she had some bullshit excuse as to why she came over there. But she was like, oh, no, I'm sorry. And Tariq's like, no, you good, come in. And she looked like, oh, okay. And right then and there, that's what I said, right then and there, she had in her mind she was about to jump this man's bones. She knew right then and there. When she walked in that room and he was brushing off light-skinned Lauren, she knew. She knew. She had it right in her mind. And man, oh man, Tariq, man. Those one of them good problems. He had one of them good problems right there, boy. But Lauren's face, man, was just like, oh my God, like, are you serious? Like, that's how she looked. Like, oh my God, like, what's going on here? Yeah, you lost your man. Because you playing these kid games. When you play kid games, you get kid prizes. For real. But yeah, that was great, man. That was great seeing that. Shout out to Tariq. They start talking about something. Diana's fitting to him. And she pretty much tells Tariq, like, listen, I wanted to come up here because I wanted to be next to you. And he like, yo, we gonna do this. These my stipulations. It's like, yo, you can't tell Monet, and you gotta be you gotta be in with it. And she like, all right. She started kissing on the nigga and shit. And oh man, I'm assuming he got them bones, man. He got that. He was in there like, man, Tariq, man, salute, brother. He completed the trilogy, man. We see Drew and Kane get into a little tussle because Kane's jealous of Drew, and he brings up his boyfriend, and Drew gets offensive, and he's fucking, he handled Kane. He's like, bah, got him on the joint, about to give it to him. Kane flipped him over right then and then. Papa Tejada comes in and breaks it up. He like, yo, what's going on here, man? And Kane like, yo, his little boyfriend or some shit he said about him. And he like, yo, is this true? He's like, no, it's good. And Kane tells him, he's like, listen, you better get him. He pretty much said, yo, you better take care of it or I'm going to take care of it. And Drew knew right then and there what he was going to have to do. Kane a sucker, though, man. But he wasn't wrong in this situation. Next, we see Tariq's little sister getting questioned by Davis and probably a pre-trial screening type. We see, they got the DA in there, the judge, obviously the prosecutor. And she had a raw Burberry outfit on, too. I'm like, yo, Burberry must have been a theme of or sponsored this episode because she had a raw ass with the Burberry on the collar. Man, I said, yo, I'm going online today to get me something Burberry for real. I ain't even playing around. I've been fucking, nah. You know what? I'm a future trader. I'm going to stick to my own brand. It's giving vibes right here. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you get one of these shirts. It's giving me, because right now in this scene, she was giving me lying vibes because she couldn't lie for shit. And they called her right on her. So she tried her best, but she fumbled. And Tariq's like, man, nope, it's not happening. We're not doing this. Right then and there, next scene, we see Monet and Kane meet up. And Kane's telling her, like, listen, Papa took on a shitload of work. So we ain't got nothing to keep course correct going. And she like, yo, I needed that money to get to Davis so he can what's the name. So then Kane comes up with the bright idea, once again, to do something stupid. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But we see Sax and Tamika meet up. And Tamika's trying to convince him that he needs to help Tariq out. And that's when he was like, yo, he do got a body. We already know he knocked off his pop. So this is just a body catching up to him. Like, ain't nothing we could do. But she's like, it's still some good in him. I can tell. And I'm like, he killed his dad. Y'all know he killed his dad. The person that birthed and gave him life. Okay, he didn't birth him, but he was part of the reason he has life on this earth. He killed him. And you're talking about he's a good. I'm like, what is going on here? Am I watching the Twilight Zone? Like, what's going on here? But Sax agrees, unbeknownst to Tariq or to Davis. He agrees to try to get him a deal. We see Drew about to put that work in. I'm like, ooh, Drew is savage this episode. So he goes to his boyfriend's dorm or school. He sees him, and he's about to put that work in, and then he gets the text and. He diverts his plan, and I'm like, oh, this nigga's a softie, because you got to take care of loose ends. And I'm not talking like I'm super. I know how it is, man. When you care about somebody, it's hard to just not only just possibly break up with them, but shit, you knocking them off, taking them off the face of this earth. That's a crazy thing to do. We see Diana's nosy ass is at the crib. We see Zeke there. He's staying there, and Diana, man, she been working out, douche. Anyway, Zeke tells her Monet wants him to stay there because they're like, yo, some crazy dude named Dante. And she putting two together. That's what her phone said, D. He's like, yeah, he's claiming he's my dad, blah, blah, blah. And she like, yo, maybe you should. He's like, no, it's bullshit, D. It's bullshit. He's believing it. We see Davis getting in his car, and Kane put that stain to his neck. And it's like, yo, you going to make sure Tariq take the fall for this. And he like, listen, if he take the fall, you going to take the fall because y'all connected. He was like, so the best thing that help you is for me to get Tariq out of jail. You know what I'm saying? Because he like, yo, y'all connected to each other. He like, you killed the cop. Like, you shouldn't have did that. And then you planted the badge in his room. That was even more dumber. So he's trying to break it down to him, explain to him. But when he peels off, he was like, and Kane, tell your mom I want my next payment. I'm like, stupid ass nigga. Kane is a fucking retard. Monet comes in the room, and we see Lorenzo got everything decked out. He got high-end fashion bags from every boutique you can think of. He in the fucking Versace robe. I'm like, look at this man. Mary was like, you could see the fucking wetness coming out that thing. It was like, instantly she got wet. And I see Mary looking, that's the first time I see Mary like ready. Like she was looking ready. She was giving me that look like, oh, I'm about to fucking do some stuff to you, boy. You got to do that, fellas. You always pamper your woman, man. You know what I mean? Surprise her with some rose petals, some bags from, if you can't afford the shit, you could, fucking Target, J.C. Penney, Macy's or something. You ball on your level. We see that the second in charge from the ops from early in the episode that killed the girl, he's ambitious and he's taking out the rest of the crew in Queens, or I don't know if this is a rival crew. They don't really detail. But they go in there, man, they got smoke bombs and they got laser beams, and Shorty with the beam was knocking everything down. I'm like, yo, they super accurate. He got the fucking the pump. I'm like, yo, they ain't playing. So they text Lorenzo like it's done. And you see both their phones go off on the nightstand, Monet and Lorenzo. His say it's done by his homegirl. And then Monet's is a text from Dante saying, yo, can we talk? And it's just to show, it's just to reaffirm like how two people could be in the bed, but they just completely not on the same page and got secrets from each other. You know what I'm saying? We see that Sax, Tamika, and the prosecutor come to Tariq's room, and they try to get him to sign his deal. And Tariq like, He's like, what you think gonna happen to me if I sign this? My sister, my grandma gonna have targets on their back. Yo, where is Tasha at? Tasha need to get out of L.A., stop touring with Remy Ma, Brandy, and old girl, and take care of your damn kids. Damn. Can't be a fucking crazy, what is it they shit called on Queens? Silly bitches, crazy bitches, something bitches. I don't fucking know. She need to get it together, though. Got this young man handling all this stress on his own. Like, come on, writers. This wouldn't be real. Her mom would have came back for that. Tommy ain't that. I don't know. But anyway, Tamika's like, yo, don't call me no more. I'm done. She ripped up, the prosecutor rips up the thing. I'm like, yo, white people get so frustrated. We see Davis confront Sax about going behind his back. He's like, man, I'm sorry, man. I was just trying to help the kid out. But then we learn that we learn about Lauren. Like he tells Davis about Lauren, or it got brought up. So, but he was just like, yo, I know you don't take deals, but I figured this was the best thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they learned that Lauren had got interviewed, and they were trying to figure out who interviewed her. And he looked at the case file, and obviously he saw who it was. We don't know at the time. We see Kane and Tariq meet up, and Kane's doing the famous like his pops. And I was just like, yo, ain't no way I could stand in front of him without doing something to him. And I know Kane bigger than me. Man, I would have brought a pistol, so I would have had to put him down. I cannot do this. Dude has continuously hated on you from day one and continuing to ruin your life, and you're not doing nothing. But Tariq don't look scared though. He don't look like no bitch, like he backing down. But he telling Tariq like, listen, it ain't gonna be no more product. It's over with. Like, shit shut down. He don't give him a reason, but he was just like, he's like, yo, I gotta pay my lawyer. How I'm gonna come up with this money? He like, man, you a hustler, right? You know how to get money, right? It's other ways to get money. So I'm like, oh boy, they about to team up and do something. And this is why we need Kane in the story, because you need a wild knucklehead dude who willing to do anything. He just like fucking Kane and the other powers. He was that wild card. You didn't really like him, but he was necessary. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you wanted to do some gangster shit, he was always down. We see Davis confronts Milgram about the fact that she stood in as like a professional, like a lawyer, pretty much. She stood, I forget the exact term, but she stood in and tried to help Lauren. And, she tries to be slick. Oh, yeah, but you're the one sleeping around and do that. But he said something about her body count, too. I was crying laughing. He said, You was like, you done slept with everybody involved in this case, man. I'm surprised. Like, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And then she like, well, you got way more bodies than me. It's not the same, Milgram. It's not the same. It's not the same. He was putting stuff in people, not getting stuff put in him, to my knowledge. But so it's not the same. So I'm like, your rebuttals suck, Milgram. But you're done. Put a fork in Milgram. She's done. She's out of here. And that's where it left off, man. You know, I guess they're going to trial. And, you know, Tariq's going to have to go on the stand or something's going to happen. A rabbit going to have to get pulled out of the hat. I think the shit going to ride on Lauren because she has a lot of knowledge. And I think just her testimony is going to kind of weaken their case because it's going to be based on the fact that she was wearing a legal wire. And, you know, it's going to be something like that. Well, obviously, we know Tariq's not going to go to jail because he's the star of the show. So we'll see what happens. Post your comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe. This is like a good branch episode. It was good. It was good. It was more so like a branch episode to the nitty gritty. Now, it was 10 episodes in the season or 8? I think it's 10. So we about to be getting down to the meat and bones of this thing. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys thought. Like I said, post your comments. Make sure you share this. Let's grow our power reviews, man. Mark Dark, I'm coming for your ass. Salute to everybody that do the power reviews. And that's part of the Powerverse. Appreciate you, man. You know, I love doing this shit. So, like I said, like, subscribing. My new video, The Takedown, featuring Ben Streets, is out. Make sure you check that out. I'll leave a link in the comments. Peace.